we won't give you trash advice. At least if we do, we won't own up to it at all. Let's get through some of the betting odds and fighters that maybe the casuals don't know about. Lemos, a plus 150. Tanner Boser, a minus 170. Sarah Frota, a plus 110. Jillian Robertson, a minus 130. Gavin Tucker, a minus 130. Choi, a plus 110. You have Yoshinori Hori, a plus 310, a big underdog against Hakeem Dawodu, who actually James Lynch broke the news of his signing on Fightful. And then to some degree, Sarukian, a minus 200 against Olivier Aben-Mercier, a plus 170. All things considered, this, while it's not the most star-studded show, there are some okay fights on this show. There's some okay betting lines on here. I'm not willing to pick Hori over Dawodu, but I am willing to maybe give OAM, as we'll call him, maybe a nod at plus 170 against Sarukian. I think there's some value there.
That has to be. I got 5 on it, right? Like Aubin-Mercier is no joke. He's still. I mean, the guy's training with GSP. They're doing a bunch of stuff together. They have been doing it for a while. Olivier is not necessarily a TriStar guy because there's another gym there, and he's always been loyal to his original instructor. But he trains with some of the best. And I know Armin's a damn good fighter, but at those odds, I got 5 on OAM because he's a damn good fighter. And he can rock the house at will. He's going to try and get that back. He's going to use his striking. If it doesn't work and Armin gets flustered, he'll go for the back right away. That's just how he rolls. It's always how he's going to be. I like Hakeem in his fight as well. Hakeem for sure. And of course, Gavin Tucker. Come on, it's Canadian. I'm not going against him just today. No.
Here's an interesting fight. Davidson Figueiredo, a plus 100 against Alexandre Pantoja, a minus 120. This is an important fight, Joe, for a few reasons, although things are really confusing. I'm still not sold on the idea that this flyweight division will continue. I'm not. Pantoja is very good, and so is Figueiredo. Yep. And this doesn't strike me as the type of fight where the loser will get cut, even though Figueiredo did lose his last fight. And it's possible. I'm not putting it out of the realm of possibility that the UFC says, Figueiredo, you lost 2 in a row, you're gone. But if Pantoja loses, I don't see him getting cut. The thing is, if Pantoja wins, he ain't getting a title shot because Benavidez is getting that title shot. And Dana White has said that he thinks that Cejudo should fight or defend that title next. And I am in agreement. Rare situation. I'm in complete agreement with Dana White. He should show some dedication to that division. I've got Pantoja here, but Figueiredo is very, very good. And we know he can finish. Specifically, he is dangerous in the second round. He has 5 finishes in the second round in just the past few years. Like, he really pours it on there. Pantoja, on the other hand, has been particularly dangerous in the early round, like the first round, whether it be on the feet, whether it be choking somebody out. This is a very interesting fight and one that nobody is talking about, Joe.
It's number 3 versus number 4.
Yeah.
This is going to be probably, next to the main event. Next to the main event, the highest caliber fight you can get. I get the co-main event. People might argue the co-main event, but we'll get to that in a bit. Pantoja wins. He may have a date with Jussier Formiga. Figueiredo wins. What do they do? Because he's already lost to Formiga, right? So it's tough to say. For now, let's focus on 3 versus 4. 2 highly ranked fighters at 125 pounds, neither of which, in our opinion, are going to get cut because it's a division that seems to be just being chopped almost every single event, or whenever there's a flyweight bout that takes place, the loser gets cut, the winner just continues to walk on thin ice, sort of thing, right? So I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. Which way am I going to go? I like the way the odds are. The odds are minus 120 for Alexandre and plus 100 for Davison. Dude, referee, step out of the way. Let these guys go. It's going to be a fast affair. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love this fight. Again, not like a bunch of people talking about it, but still a very, very interesting fight. as is Alexis Davis, a plus 210 against Viviane Arajau, who, boy, I fell in love with this woman from a professional perspective, guys. She's just so intriguing to me, Joe, and I've got her winning this fight. And if she does win this fight, although I am definitely giving Alexis Davis a healthier chance than the odds makers are, not the odds makers, the bettors are. But I look at Arajau, and she just came out of nowhere a couple months ago. She took a fight at 135 pounds, and I think it was maybe...
That was the Bernardo fight?
Yeah, the Talita Bernardo fight.
Okay.
And not only that, I mean, this is a woman whose fight before that was at strawweight, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of going back to strawweight, or maybe saying, you know what, I'll give flyweight a go. I think this one is at flyweight. I'm just so used to Alexis Davis at 135.
Yeah.
So we're going to see her essentially in her third, not essentially, she is, her third weight division in 3 fights. That is very interesting to me. But yeah, apologies. I'm so used to Alexis Davis as a bantamweight. But you're going to see her go from strawweight to bantamweight to flyweight. Not a path a lot of people take. I got a lot of respect for this woman.
And she'll fight anywhere. She fought in Japan. She fought in Canada. Fought in like Brazil. Like, she's just all over the place. Just give me an opponent and I'll sign the dotted line. Is what it seems like with Vivi, right? Like she's got this style. I mean, she shocked all of us when she took out Bernardo. I mean, that was a good fight. And that was like in the 3rd round, if I remember. So bombs away for her. I don't know how she's going to deal with a very experienced Alexis Davis, who basically has double or triple the experience, right? Because she's got Arajau's got 8 fights and Alexis Davis has 28 fights. So triple the experience plus. It'd be interesting to see what this does for Vivian's confidence. And if she takes her out, there's going to be a lot of question marks, a lot of answers, but more question marks saying, oh my, what do we do with this one here who's competing at 115, but is doing damn good at 125 pounds, taking out, someone that's been around the UFC for a very, very long time. It's one of those scenarios where the matchmaking is, sometimes you look at it and you think, maybe this is a suspect sort of matchup. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's some method behind their madness. I mean, Alexis Davis is number 7 right now.
And a former title challenger. And Talita Bernardo was, I'm not going to pretend like Talita Bernardo was like some highly touted prospect or anything like that. She had dropped fights to Renault and Aldana, and this was like her 3rd opponent that she had on that show, but it's still a damn good win to pop up in the UFC after taking so much time off and do it 2 weight divisions up. That's impressive to me.
Yeah, she's good. She's got skills. Talita still had skills. We were high on her. I think we both predicted her to win that fight, and then both were incorrect on that one. So this is a good litmus test, and it's a good assessment of the matchmakers. This is a fight here where we can say, oh, maybe they see something we didn't see, and the odds makers are like, interesting. Okay.
Well, the odds makers see Krzysztof Jotko at -165, Marc-Andre Barriault a +145. Barriault lost his last fight just, a couple months ago, 2.5 months ago. He has not yet made his impact felt in the UFC. Meanwhile, Krzysztof Jotko had and was highly touted and looked like he completely fell off. And then after that, he had some injury issues, but came back and beat Amedovski. I like where the betting lines are here, but I'm still going with Jotko.
Yeah, one quick question, though. He fought Magnus Senblad. Whatever happened to him? Just injuries.
God, all about him.
Yeah, he got retired due to injuries. Okay, so, all right, anyways. Going back to the fight there. Jotko, like you said, started off strong in the UFC, then went on that 3-fight losing streak, emerges victorious in April. Is he back on the docket? It remains to be seen. But it's an interesting fight because the placement of this fight is the very first bout of the pay-per-view card. They're expecting fireworks in this fight. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Up next, we have Jeff Neal, a -335. Nico Price, a +275. that might be one worth taking a flyer on. But Jeff Neal,
he's so good.
He is very good.
He's good, man.
And Nico Price is pretty good too, though. But Jeff Neal, what he's shown me, Dana White's Contender Series last year against Kamosi and Camacho, and even this year against Bilal Muhammad, Bilal Muhammad is a tough out. And I don't mean just a tough out. He's a good fighter.
Yeah.
And when I look at him facing Nico Price, I'm like, all right, that's another very, very tough guy. Nico Price has won 3 of his last 4. He's beaten guys like Tim Means and Alan Jaman.
Yeah.
Beat Brandon Thatch. Remember him? People thought he was going to be something. But at plus 275, I got to give Nico Price a shot. But I think Jeff Neal's going to win this.
That sums up the whole breakdown of this fight here, like big time. I think, does Nico have a chance? Yeah, it's at 170. The speed's there, the power's there. But Jeff Neal, to me, right now is a very special fighter. It'd be interesting to see how this guy's ascension up the ladder continues. I think he wins this fight. I mean, I'm not going to say there's no ifs, ands, or buts, but this is a fight for Jeff Neal to. It's hard cracking that 170 top 15. I mean, look at the Robbie Lawler 11, Damian Maia 12, Neil Magny 13, Dos Santos 14, Vicente Luque 15. Like, it's a tough division to crack. So I think he's on his route, though. I think Jeff Neal wins this.
Then we get a couple of the big ones, quote unquote. Cyborg a minus 260, and on some places is as high as a minus 909. Felicia Spencer is a plus 475, and I fully believe that Chris Cyborg is going to win it. Gotta put 5 on it, Joe. I gotta put 5 on it. I really think that this betting line is appropriate. Chris Cyborg is very good. She is going to show things to Felicia Spencer that Felicia Spencer has never seen before. Felicia Spencer was able to beat Megan Anderson, was able to beat Pam Sorensen, and those are real good wins. However, Chris Cyborg can overwhelm you, and if your back touches the cage, it is probably lights out for you. Chris Cyborg has developed just such great offense when her opponent is up against the cage at range. And again, that's something that I fully believe in my heart of hearts that she worked on when training for Ronda Rousey. She didn't want to make a habit of getting into clinch range, and she got really good at striking at range, especially up against the cage. I don't know if that's something Felicia Spencer can overcome. How do you feel about this one, Joe?
Felicia Spencer, second round, rear naked choke.
You're just doing that so you can sound smart whenever she wins.
Damn.
Son of a bitch.
Right.
Son of a bitch, Joe.
You know what? I don't know, man. For all you suckers out there that are calling me Canadian and Tobias and Felicia Spencer.
For all you suckers that are calling him Canadian because he's from Canada.
How dare you? No. I just like Spencer's game, man. She just, like, that Megan Anderson fight was something else. And I just think that, taking on Cyborg is no easy task. But crazier things have happened in MMA, man. Crazier things have happened. We start seeing these men and women out of nowhere come out and have these crazy. Look at Ozdemir, man. Ozdemir did some crazy stuff on his run. I think Spencer, as long as she can protect that chin of hers, take the beating if you can, but not a lot, and just clinch and try and get her down on the ground, and then just start it. Just go. So, I mean, my heart's with Spencer. My head's with Justino. My gut's telling me Spencer, Sean. Felicia Spencer, we were naked choke. And I don't give a damn if I'm wrong. Felicia Spencer, second round, rear naked choke.
So we got to talk about what the future of this division would be otherwise. If Felicia Spencer wins, rematch. Or not rematch, title fight. Amanda 100%. Nunes.
100%.
Of course. And then you queue up Megan Anderson. If Megan Anderson put her against Kat Zingano again, and if she wins, title shot, sure. Why not? But if Cyborg wins and she's done in the division, it's hard or not done in the division, but her contract is done, it's hard for me to believe that she won't end up in Bellator.
Correct.
Fighting Julia Budd, which is a good fight. It's a damn good fight.
Yeah.
So win or lose, to me, there are fights that are going to be set up because it doesn't matter where Cyborg is. If she wins, there's a chance she fights Amanda Nunes, even though she doesn't want to, according to Dana White.
Yeah.
If she leaves, she's probably facing Julia Budd, and that's a good fight too. I think she beats Budd, but what do you think happens?
Felicia Spencer's second round rear naked choke.
What do you think happens with Cyborg in the future?
Yeah. Drama, man. I think based on what you just said and based on what we're seeing and reading and hearing and, with Dana White's sort of, adding gasoline to that log that was originally burning and sort of died off with the whole mystery with Chris Cyborg and the things that Chris Cyborg says and does on social media about whomever handles it. Even winning Chris Cyborg wins and she doesn't quote unquote want to fight Amanda Nunes. Bye. Go. What are you here for? Get out. We're not giving you a tune-up fight. Get out. We're not giving you an easy fight. Get out. If she loses, well, you're not good enough to be in this division that we created for you. Get out. Go fight Julia Budd. So either way, I would say there's a 90% chance Chris Cyborg is going to Bellator after this fight. 10% chance
I would agree.
Amanda Nunes.
Frankie Edgar, a plus 320. Max Holloway, a minus 390. I know you know Frankie Edgar very well. I know you've worked with him in the past. This fight has tried to happen multiple times. It was scheduled for UFC 218, UFC 222. I think we're getting it now. I don't think that Max Holloway's at a risk of not showing up for this fight, even though a lot of stuff has went down. I've got mixed emotions about this. Is Frankie Edgar worthy of a title shot? Almost all the time, but he's not fought in over a year. His last one was Cub Swanson. Swanson is not what we thought he was anymore. Before that, Ortega obliterated him. If he doesn't win, is this his last title shot ever?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes. I mean, there's no 100% guarantee with that yet. What's that?
He'll be 38 this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee to anything in life. I mean, but at 38 and multiple, he's been a champion before, had many cracks at this title here. This will be his last one. So this is a good payday for him. He's headlining a pay-per-view. I think he's a damn good opponent for Max Holloway. Max Holloway on paper should defeat Frankie Edgar. But if you think I'm ever going against Frankie Edgar, if he was to fight when he was 60, I'd still root for Frankie Edgar. He's just got that, style that just simply won't go away. The problem is Max Holloway's precision and pressure is what Frankie Edgar was, 4 or 5 years ago, right? It's a reincarnated Frankie Edgar who's taller and just quicker, well, not quicker, but just crazy pace. I mean, there was a time you could not knock out Frankie Edgar. Just ask Gray Maynard in those fights, right? And never knock this guy out. And now he's getting older. The brain can only handle so much. So as long as Frankie's on his bike, using his footwork, and chips away at Max Holloway, pushes him, punishes him as well, he could emerge victorious here. But, excuse me, Sean, it's 25 minutes. It's a long time, even for Frankie Edgar, who's fought in 5-round fights before. But I don't care. Frankie Edgar's going to win this fight, and new. I have to say it. Sorry.
I don't think that he will. But the thing that stood out to me the most is Max Holloway's reach is like only 1 inch higher. Well, you look at that and you're like, well, Frankie Edgar was a former lightweight champion. So, I mean, even though he's a bit diminutive anyway, that's something that stood out to me. Max Holloway is another guy. He leaves a lot of openings is the thing, but he also overwhelms people to the level to where they can't capitalize on those openings. And he swarms people and he keeps up a crazy pace. And, I mean, this is a guy who went in there and had an awesome fight at 155 pounds.
Yep.
He's had a lot of trials and tribulations over the last year or so. It's not been the smooth sailing for Max Holloway that it was after the McGregor fight. After the McGregor fight, he went on this just insane streak and didn't lose for years and years and years. And then you get to 2018 and bad stuff starts happening. He had a leg injury, and then the next month he was deemed that he couldn't have the fight. He had concussion symptoms 3 months later and finally got in the cage and went 4 rounds with Ortega. And that was a tough fight. came back, went 5 rounds with Dustin Poirier, a weight division up.
Yep.
So I think a lot of the problems are behind him, but there's something that I want to see, Joe. I want to see what he's like. I want to see what Max Holloway's life is like, his career is like, his in-ring is like after 5 rounds with Dustin Poirier and even 4 rounds with Brian Ortega to some degree.
Yep.
Because some of those fights change people, Joe.
MMA mileage, those are the fights that create MMA mileage. Unless you're shoot a box in training, getting knocked out in training, those are the fights right there, Sean, that just add that MMA mileage to you.
I have Max Holloway winning this. A reminder, guys, subscribe to this channel. Leave a thumbs up. I may do my live stream on the Pro Wrestling channel just to see how it affects numbers, how it affects super chats, all that stuff. But we're not going anywhere over here. Joe, what do you got going on this week?
Same old, man. There's been a change in the soccer world for me, so I'm taking care of some business. I had to straighten out a few people, straighten out a few clubs, straighten out a few I'll say presidents and VPs, and just taking care of some business. But same old for me. And then Thursday, leaving for Japan. Make sure you guys watch it on Fight TV. It's going to be a fantastic card. Mark my words. Long flight for me. Looking forward to getting there, getting accustomed to the time zone, only to do the weigh-in, call the fights, go home. Gone for 4 days, back right away. So looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Guys, follow Joe at Joe A. Ferraro. Follow me at Sean Rossap. Follow us at Fightful MMA. Until next time, guys, we're out.